CM Punk is trying to stay away from WWE, then I don't think that he should take this for the fact that if he goes into this, then you're going to start rolling that ball towards, well, is he coming back to WWE? You're going to start, Vince McMahon might start putting out that phone call. So you don't want, if you're CM Punk and you're interested in going back to WWE, then take this $1 million and use it as your launching pad to go back to WWE. But if you're CM Punk and you still want to be this, I hate wrestling, I don't know why I did it for so long, I was an idiot. You can't take this because then you're going back to wrestling, and then people are going to just wonder eventually when you're going to come back. And then Vince McMahon, if he sees that you're professional wrestling somewhere, he's going to be calling you, and then you open up this can of worms. So it's really it's up to CM Punk what persona he wants to go forward. If he wants to be this anti-wrestling, I hate wrestling guy, then he can't take a payday, because here's the thing about CM Punk. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's a honest, truthful, straight edge guy, and that persona is that he doesn't, pull no punches, not for any money at all. He's not in the UFC for money. He's not in the WWE for money. He does what he wants because of the love of it. So this, if he's doing it and then he doesn't come back to WWE, would make him look like he's just a shill for the $1 million.
Couldn't agree more.
So my question is, Paul, will you join us for one more segment to run down this Sunday's Backlash pay-per-view on WWE Network? Are you coming back for one more segment?
Unfortunately, guys, you guys are going to have to handle this. I'm out with family. This week has been crazy. I wasn't in last week. I guarantee for the future going forward, next week and further, we'll be back to normal and better than ever. You guys are going to have to handle Backlash. At least this is better than Payback, so there should be a lot more to talk about on this one.
All right, Paul. Well, thank you for joining us for the 3 count. That is Paul Boy Green, as in you can find him at Twitter at BoyGreen25, and hopefully he can join us once again next week for a full, maybe even in-studio performance. We will get back to you on that one. But for now, we've got Backlash to talk about this Sunday on pay-per-view, and we're going to do it next, as this is the Heel to the Face podcast on Sports War Radio, Rat Pack Radio, and now on iTunes.
The New York Jets are rising and are ready to compete in the AFC. Boy Green and Ty Butler will give you everything you need to know about the Jets every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. From reviewing the previous game and looking ahead to the next matchup, to all of the news and 4 downs, the Jet Zone has everything. Follow at BoyGreen25 and at Ty D. Butler on Twitter. Proud member of Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
This program is simulcast on WRPR Rat Pack Radio. Go to ratpacksports.com for more information.
Do you want to stay up to date on the latest sports news? Come check out After the Whistle from 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday night. We talk about the NHL, we talk about the NFL, we talk about the MLB, you name it, we got it. Tune in on Sports War Radio.
Now is the time to get your voice heard. Sports War Radio is now accepting applications for driven and knowledgeable sports fans who want to start their very own podcast about their favorite team. Sports War Radio has an international audience and is growing fast. Don't miss the chance to become the go-to news source for your favorite team. Email sportswarradio@gmail.com and tell us why you would be a great addition to our team. Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
Now is the time to get your voice heard. Sports War Radio is now accepting applications for driven and knowledgeable sports fans who want to start their very own podcast about their favorite team. Sports War Radio has an international audience and is growing fast. Don't miss the chance to become the go-to news source for your favorite team. Email sportswarradio@gmail.com and tell us why you would be a great addition to our team. Sports War Radio. Let the battle begin.
Let's get back to the action. This is the Heel to the Face podcast on Sports War Radio.
Some Chris Cornell in the background to lead us back into this week's edition of Heel to the Face podcast. We're playing this on the heels of Chris Cornell passing away from an apparent suicide on May the 18th, 2017, the lead singer of Soundgarden and Audioslave, and an influence to many in the rock community and obviously in the wrestling community, as professional wrestling and rock and roll music have always gone hand in hand. Every single week, there is a music bed that is put on to pipe up a pay-per-view. This week is no different for Backlash. And speaking of Backlash, it is this Sunday, and it is time to talk about what we feel will go down in Chicago, Illinois at the Allstate Arena for this Sunday's pay-per-view. It looks like it's going to be a little better than Payback. WWE's hyping up better than Payback. The fact they're having NXT the night before the show. They're kind of treating it like one of the bigger events. But let's get things started on the kickoff show. Only one kickoff match, and it's really all there ever should be. But Ty Dillinger will be on the kickoff show against former vaudevillain Aiden English. I already know who you're gonna pick. Ty Dillinger. He's 3-0 in WWE, and you're a huge Ty Dillinger fan, so who else would you pick?
How did you guess? I mean, that he is the perfect 10. Unfortunately, why in the hell is he even facing Aiden English? Give him something better than do. He's the perfect 10. Ty Dillinger wins this match. There's no other reason for him to lose this match. Honestly, they need to move him up a little bit quicker than where they're. I mean, I'm not saying WWE, the main event championship, but we got to get him a mid-card championship here. Let's go on. Well, he's a perfect 10. So Ty Dillinger, he's got this match.
Yeah, I'll take Ty Dillinger too, because obviously you're hyping him up. He's undefeated right now. There'd be no reason for him to lose.
And he's the perfect 10.
And he's the perfect 10. That's a good enough reason right there. So let's move on to the main card. We'll start with Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. Wyatt family members facing off against each other. We've seen it somewhat before on SmackDown. Now we're going to see it on the pay-per-view realm. Who do you think benefits more from a win here?
Luke Harper. Simply put, Luke Harper, at one point I thought he was going to be in line for a championship shot. I think having him lose to Eric Rowan, Luke Harper needs wins. Eric Rowan, I do not see him in the title picture anytime soon. So Luke Harper benefits, more for this. Eric Rowan taking a loss looks a lot better than Luke Harper taking a loss.
I'm going to say Eric Rowan because of the fact that he most recently, they're trying to build him up brand new. He's kind of been the forgotten member of the Wyatts as of late. They had to bring him back, not with a new gimmick, but just kind of this new persona. And I feel in order to keep the build up on Eric Rowan from returning from his injury, that getting a win against Luke Harper would be big here. And the fact that, Luke Harper, I felt he was on the rise, and I don't feel that if he wins this week, he's going to be any more on the rise. I feel like that's kind of stabled off regardless of his match. The fact that he's in this match and not, let's say, in the championship match at the pay-per-view, there was a close time that Luke Harper was going to be in the main event of WrestleMania against Bray Wyatt. And now he's facing Eric Rowan in kind of a throwaway match at a pay-per-view. And regardless if he wins or loses, I don't think he's in line to be in the main event of the next pay-per-view.
Luke Harper needs to be a United States champion or a WWE champion at some point soon. Eric Rowan, I understand the building part of it, but what do you have to gain? I mean, Luke Harper, it makes Luke Harper look less, equitable as a champion. I mean, you gotta keep the stock for Luke Harper up. So why? I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, to me, you can't have him going down to Eric Rowan here. I think he needs to win more than Eric Rowan. I mean, Eric Rowan's getting built up, but what are you going to build him up as, a mid card he's filler? I mean that's the way I look at it. Luke Harper he's a prime performer. I think he's due for a championship. So I got to keep Luke Harper on this.
So we move on to Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, who was in the IC title picture for a good period of time, an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. He takes on another guy who's kind of just been, sputtering a little bit without any sort of direction. Sami Zayn, who you got in this one?
I go with Baron Corbin. As much as I love Sami Zayn, he's the underdog from the underground, so to speak. Baron Corbin he needs to. I mean, they got to keep pushing this guy. JBL says it every single time we're watching, WWE programming. Baron Corbin, that guy. Every time I see him, he's a future champion. This and that. He's there, man. I think he's close. I mean, he's out of the picture temporarily, I think, but I see Baron Corbin. I see big things that Baron Corbin very soon. So having him lose to Sami Zayn, I don't think is in the cards. I like Sami Zayn, but I think it's going to be a hell of a match. It honestly might be one of the better matches of the night. But Baron Corbin does win this match. Yeah,
I'm going to take Baron Corbin as well, just for the sake of that. It just the optics of this match they don't match up to me. Having Sami Zayn, beat Baron Corbin. I feel Baron Corbin, he's a bigger stature guy, and they're trying to sell him essentially. And I'm not saying that they're going to sell him to a championship match this next pay-per-view or anything like that.
He's got one coming.
I feel that it would definitely take a back turn if they had him lose to Sami Zayn this pay-per-view weekend. So let's move on to the WWE debut, essentially in the ring, of Shinsuke Nakamura as he takes on Dolph Ziggler. Who you got in this one?
This is the easiest one of the night, my friend. Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm the one that corrects you guys, and I just chopped it up. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win this match. You can't hype the debut.
He's on the poster.
Yeah, you can't. There's no way. If this isn't a slam dunk, I don't know what is. This match it's going to be a hell of a match, though. I think this match will be the match of the night. You heard it here. Match of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. But Dolph will put up a good fight, and I think he's going to try to win dirty. But I see a little Keen Sasha in his future, and I see a Shinsuke Nakamura victory.
I'm gonna buck the trend here, and I'm gonna go with Dolph Ziggler.
What?
To kind of continue this storyline between the two, and kind of you got I think they want to show maybe that Shinsuke Nakamura maybe just doesn't come right in WWE and start dominating. I think this is kind of an eye-opener opportunity for Dolph Ziggler to beat Shinsuke Nakamura and kind of give him that thirst and give him that drive going forward of, I see things aren't going to be as easy as I thought they were going to be, and Dolph Ziggler to kind of, strut around a little bit as, this is WWE.
You don't see that really happening, do you?
It's a, I do. I feel it just, like you said, it's too much of a slam dunk, so I'm going to take Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
It's not exactly what I feel is going to happen, but, I'm still taking Dolph.
You're bucking the trend.
I'm taking Dolph Ziggler.
And hey, you know what? I'm a Ziggler guy. I've always been a Ziggler guy. I can't, give you too much crap for it. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. But, I mean, why build it up so much and have Shinsuke debut if you're not going to have him win?
All right, moving on to the 6-woman tag team match. The Welcoming Committee, Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina with James Ellsworth versus the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Who you got in this meaningless tag team match?
I know it really is meaningless, to be honest with you. Like, why do you have to have Charlotte Flair and Naomi just wasted like this? Where you're gonna have to, I got 4 other competitors here. I mean, they're not gonna see. I mean, you'll see some action, but I do not see Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch losing this match. Unless the I guess the Welcoming Committee, as they are referred as, does some dirty tricks. The only way I could see them winning is if maybe something happens because Charlotte and Naomi are kind of like, they're there, but they're not, they really don't want to be on the team, but they're just playing along. I mean, I could see something flare up there, so to speak. But I'm gonna if I had to put some money on it, I'm going to go Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch defeating them.
This one's hard to pick for the fact that you have, essentially faces and heels kind of on opposite teams. Charlotte Flair, for the most part, was always a heel. Becky Lynch was always a face. Naomi's a face. Natalya on the heel team, she was a face. So it's kind of hard to pick. But, in order to keep the champion looking good, I essentially assume that they're selling Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch as the face tag team here. So
yeah,
you might as well have them be the winners again. No championships on the line. I'm going to just pick them. And not like I feel that that's better for business. I just feel that's what they're going to do. So I'm picking Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Now we move on to the tag team championship, the SmackDown tag team champion, the Usos, Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso, the current title holders versus probably the best thing